Arabella Johnson and the Texas Kid went busting into Dixie's about 1 a.m. The night was young. But for a wise night bird, the pickings weren't bad on 133rd. Pickings weren't bad. His roll wasn't slim. And Arabella Johnson had her hands on him. At a big piano, a little dark girl was playing jazz for a midnight world. Whip it, Miss Lucy, I'll pick that rag, the Texas Kid's on a high-stepping jag. A dumb little jigaboo from somewhere south, a raw of gold in his upper mouth, a roll of bills in his left-hand pocket. Do it, Arabella. Honey baby, sock it. Dancing close and dancing sweet, down in the cellar, back from the street in Dixie's place on 133rd, when the night is young for an old night bird. I'll pick it, Miss Lucy. Jazz it slow, it's good like that when you bass so low. Folks at the tables drink and grin. Dixie makes his money on two-bit gin. Couples on the floor rock and shake. Dixie rents room at $1 a break. Loungers at the bar laugh out loud. Everybody's happy. It's a spending crowd, big-time sports, and girls who know Dixie ain't no place for a gang that's slow. Rock it, Arabella, babe, you show can go. She says to the waiter, got tickies for two. Says to Texas, how to dance strike you? Say to Lucy, play a long time, gal. Say to the world, here's my sugar daddy pal. Whispers to Texas, boy, you're sweet. She gurgles to Texas, what'd you like to eat? Spaghetti and gin, music and smoke. And a woman cross the table when a man ain't broke. When a man's want to fight in a big man's town. Oh, plunk it, Miss Lucy, because we dancing down. Party of whites from Fifth Avenue came tipping into Dixie's to get a view. Came tipping into Dixie's with smiles on their faces, knowing that they could buy a dozen colored places. Dixie grinned, Dixie bowed. Dixie rubbed his hands and laughed out loud, while a tall white woman in an ermine cape looked at the blacks and thought of rape. Looked at the blacks and thought of a rope. Looked at the blacks and thought of flame and thought of something without a name. Oh, I'll play it, Miss Lucy. Lord, ain't you shame? Lucy was a bassin' at boom, boom, boom when Arabella went to the ladies' room. She left the Texas Kid sitting by himself, all unsuspecting of the chippy on his left. Her name was Bessie. She was brown and bold, and she sat on her chair like a sweet jelly roll. She cast her eyes on Texas, hollered, listen, boy, while the music's playing, let's spread some joy. Now, Texas was a lover. Bessie was too. They loved one another till the music got through. While Miss Lucy played it, boom, 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 and Arabella was busy in the ladies' room. When she come out, she looked across the place, and there was Bessie sitting in her place. It was just as if somebody kicked her in the face. Arabella drew her pistol. She uttered a cry. Everybody dodged as a ball passed by. A shot rang out. Bessie pulled a knife, but Arabella had her gun. Stand back, folksies. Let us have out fun. And a shot rang out. Some began to tremble, and some began to scream. Bessie stared at Bella like a woman in a dream. As the shots rang out, a white lady fainted. A black woman cried, but Bessie took a bullet to her heart and died. As the shots rang out, a whole slew of people went rushing for the door and left poor Bessie bleeding in that cellar on the floor. When the shots rang out, then the place was empty, no music didn't play, and whoever loved Bessie was far away. Take me, Jesus, take me home today. Oh, they nabbed Arabella and drove her off to jail, just as the sky in the east turned pale, and night, like a reefer man, slipped away, and the sun came up, and it was day. But the Texas Kid, with lovin' in his head, picked up another woman, went to bed.